What's up? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Doesn't matter which order you put it in. Welcome back and welcome to the newcomers. Thank you so much. Make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment down below. That's catchy for me. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. All right, so today we're going to get into this seafood casserole. This easy, affordable, didn't really have to do too much spending, just finding things around my house and be my guest. If you don't have the seafood, chicken will work. You got steak, whatever you got, use it, okay? You just need a little rice, a little bit of protein of your choice, and veggies of your choice. I end up using seafood because it was towards the end of the month and I was just like, look, I don't feel like going to the grocery store today. And my freezer is packed. Every time I go to the grocery store, I cannot buy new things for my freezer. Like I can buy new things. It's not that packed, but I can't buy stock my freezers. I want to invest in a deep freezer, but right now I kind of just want to have that self-discipline of, having room in my freezer because I don't want to get the deep freezer and then that ends up full and I'm still going to buy new things and I have stuff in there. So I'm getting into the habit where I'm going to use everything out of my deep freezer. Okay, we're going to get this deep freezer empty, the ones that I do have, not like a independent deep freezer, like one by itself, but the freezers that are connected to my refrigerators. I have two refrigerators in my house right now, and both of the freezers are pretty full. One of the refrigerators are like bigger than the other. The other one is like a standard one. The one is not a mini fridge, but it's kind of like a mini fridge. I don't know how to say it. I don't know describe it. I don't know the correct terms, but they're both full. So I decided it's the end of the month. I'm going to be restocking for the new month next month. Let's try to get these things out of my deep freezer that I can actually use. Let's use them. Okay. So I went in there and I got some lobster and I got some salmon that I had in my deep freezers. Should I be saying deep freezers or should I say freezers? I don't know. But anyways, I got those out and I believe the month prior to this month, I made some salmon casserole, which was fire and my kids loved it. And I said, okay, I'll make it again. Now that I'm going through my freezers and my refrigerators and cleaning it out, etc., I seen that I had some salmon, which I already knew, and we had some lobster. And my kids been asking me, "Mommy, you have lobster in the freezer. What are you gonna do with it? I know you got lobster in there." So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make that seafood casserole, that salmon casserole that y'all like, and I'm gonna just put some lobster in there. Period. So now I'm emptying out the freezers, and I'm still, going above their means or above my means and giving them a little fancy dinner on a budget, not having to go to the grocery store because I don't feel like it, and they're still gonna eat good. Understand that, okay? So I went ahead and got my salmon and my lobster and I cut that all up. I seasoned it. If you don't like all the seasoning I use the seasoning of your preference or how your mama cook it for you, because I'm going to use what I like to use. If you can tell, I was seasoning my food very lightly. I wasn't using too much. So me and my kids like flavor. So I'm going to use that seasoning that I have. And I buy them purposely for my use. So I don't season them heavy. And every seasoning I buy does not have salt in it all the time. So as you can see, I didn't use too much salt. Because again, it's seafood. But knowing that I was going to have broccoli in the recipe, and broccoli is pretty bland and has its own water eventually, and my broccoli was also frozen, so that was going to make the recipe a little bit watered down. So I had to spice it up and I had to use my seasonings, and there's a reason for everything that I do not have to explain. But there you go. Use as you want, as you should, as your preference. So I did all that, seasoning my salmon up right now, getting that prepared to get sauteed pretty much. I'm not going to overcook it. Seafood, you got to be very careful, especially with my lobster. I did not overcook it. I took the lobster out actually before I put my salmon in, and I did the salmon by itself, and then eventually you'll see I mix them together. But yeah, do as you please. If you don't like what I do, switch it up. Use your own alternatives. We're not here to judge. We're here to eat. Okay? Simply, we're here to eat. You got all these restaurants that you go to. You don't know what they putting in your food. So don't judge me. Thank you. So there go my salmon. And they're searing up, sauteing it up, putting my butter in. I did use unsalted butter, if that makes it any better for some people. So yeah, we're going to keep continuing to chef it up in this kitchen and cook for these kids. I'm really not a big fan of instant foods. Like instant mashed potatoes, I will not eat. I will not eat instant mashed potatoes. So, when it comes down to this rice-a-roni, y'all, besides it being bland and not well seasoned all the time, depending on what I'm cooking it with. Sometimes I add seasoning, sometimes I don't. So, with this rice-a-roni, this is always a hit. I only use a certain type of rice. It's either going to be jasmine rice-a-roni, and every now and again brown rice. But I can't even tell you the last time I made brown rice. Usually when I make brown rice, it goes in my tacos because I already got all those other extra toppings on top of the tacos. So when I want like a burrito or like a taco with rice and stuff in it, I use brown rice, okay? But this rice-a-roni, oh my gosh. And then as I'm doing this, everybody decided they wanted to help. So my daughter would not sit her butt down somewhere. So she was like, Mommy, can I pour it in? Because they're usually helping me break the pasta up for different dishes or whatever. I'm starting to help them. I'm starting to let them help out in the kitchen so that they can be independent. And they don't have to depend on nobody to cook for them because guess what? They're fancy, they real fancy, and they real picky, and they real bougie. So they're going to have to learn how to cook because not everybody is going to cook to their liking, and not everybody is going to cook like your mom, right? So that's why I said, if you don't like how I cook, go let your mama cook you something or you go cook something. So now my baby girl is helping me out. When she started helping me out, my son seen her helping me and wanted to ask to help too, which he's the oldest child. So even more, I'm trying to get him to help out in the kitchen and teach him how to cook little stuff like the microwavable stuff. They already got that down pack, and even sometimes they forget. They be like, Mommy, how much do I put this on in the microwave? I don't think they forget. I think they're just cautious because that's me. I always tell them, if I'm here, always ask me if you need to ask a question, which I'm gonna always be here as long as I can and as long as I need to be and as long as God allow me to be. But then my son want to come in and he ain't had no shirt on. Like, no, because boy, you already got one of my videos taken down because you didn't have on a shirt. We did a whole Red Lobster seafood boil dupe, and he got my video taken down because he didn't have on a shirt. So since he's the oldest boy, he think he can walk around here big and bad with no shirt on. So he didn't have a shirt on today, and I told him when that video got took down, I was like, look, son, you got to do a little bit better. When you see me recording, at least when I'm recording, put a shirt on. Because, like, what is the point? Because my sons, this is what they do. My oldest one will take off his shirt, walk around the house with no shirt on. And guess what? The little ones follow him. Even my daughter. She's the only girl in the house. And she's the last baby. So she see when her brothers take off their shirt, child, she's 3. So she takes off her shirt too. And she be walking around here with no shirt on talking about, Mommy, I'm hot. And I'm like, bro, girl, you can't do that. You can't. You are not your brothers and your brothers are not you. Put on a shirt. And even my sons, they would take off their shirt and then they're walking around the house with a fucking, excuse my French, but they're walking around the house with a blanket covering them. Seriously, put your shirt back on. Because at this point, you're doing a little bit too much. Why are you walking around with a blanket on and you decided to take your shirt off? Come on now. Like, what is the point of taking your shirt off? Do y'all feel like y'all big, bulky, y'all got muscles? Like, what is it? Do y'all feel like y'all heavyweight? Like, I understand, but jeez, y'all. They say girls are crazy to raise, but boys are too. Like, let's not exclude the boys at all. Because these boys, okay, they got their egos, and nobody can tell them nothing. They're going to walk around here with no shirt on, get your videos taken down, and still be cold, walking around behind the scenes with a blanket on. or throw on, like, or a robe. If you're cold, don't take your shirt off. I don't understand it, but we're going to let them live their best lives because you can only be a kid once, right? So got my broccoli, and like I said, this is not to do too much. This was a quick meal. I did not feel like going grocery shopping. I did not feel like, okay? I do, but I didn't today. So I got my little broccoli, and instead of putting it in a pot, I put it in the microwave. Yes, I did. Put it right in the microwave, and I seasoned it in the bag. How about that? Really did. I can't get too lazy, though, because I ended up seasoning this broccoli. And you'll see, I started to pour it in a pot, and I was like, you know what? This can't be too much of a lazy meal, because my daughter is very picky, and she will not eat a full-blown broccoli. So I had to cut off the stems. And I did. Why? Because these kids are bougie, and they want what they want, and they're going to eat whatever they want. And if I don't cook it to their liking, they're not going to eat it. Simple. Not saying they won't eat anything, but she will politely pull out the broccoli and say, ew, mommy, this is nasty. So I got to sneak it in for her so she can still get her greens in. You know? Whatever they don't like, you got to sneak it in. Those onions, those peppers. Don't let a kid tell you I'm not eating this. No, you're going to eat it. Little do you know. So those broccoli, like I said, I'm pouring it in right now. And look. Here I am second guessing myself like, maybe I shouldn't have did that. Let me cut it up. Cut the stems off and just, leave the florets. Because my daughter, I thought about her mostly. I'm like, my sons, maybe, even if they pick it out and bite the top off and leave the stem, she's not going to eat any of it. So I had to really sneak that in. So I cut off the stem. Yes, I did. Crushed it up as best as I can. Made it into smaller pieces so I can mix it in very smooth, very easy, very demure, so that she can eat it. Yes, I did. And what do you do? Let me know what y'all do in the comments down below. Do y'all say forget it? Or do y'all say let me sneak it in? Let's not act like we're perfect here. Let's not act like we have perfect kids. We all got bougie kids from time to time. Look at that broccoli. Better. Much better. Much more better. Much more distinctive, I think. So mix all of that lobster, that broccoli, that salmon, and my rice-a-roni. Mixed all that together, Bookie. Mix it good. What is her name? Mimi from Love and Hip Hop, the Asian lady. Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it. I'm mixing it. Okay? Mix that shit in good. Mix it in real good. And I added some cheese, of course, because what's a casserole without any cheese? It don't just go on top. You got to put at least a little bit of cheese inside the recipe. So I use mozzarella and I use Colby Jack cheese. And I poured it in there and I mixed it up. And here I am running out of words to tell y'all because everything is pretty much self-explanatory. I mean, if you want a more detailed video on this, let me know in the comments down below and I'll give it to you. But everything is pretty much self-explanatory, I would think. Cut up some salmon, cut up some lobster, saute it with any seasoning that you want as far as greens, peppers, whatever. Then you got it. Make your rice on the side. Mix everything together with your broccoli and your cheese. And I did use a can of cream of mushroom. You can use cream of chicken or whatever you have. I don't even know, honestly, if that was cream of mushroom. If you've seen it on the can, you'll know. Use whatever you got. That's what I had, so that's what I used. And now I'm putting it in a pan. Spread it out. Make sure I put as much as I can. The pan was not that big for the whole pot that I made. So I did fill it up as much as I can. And I left some to the side to pretty much make a second pan, which is a bonus. Because even if I don't make a second pan, they can still eat it just like that. Warm it up and save it for leftovers. So once we finish this pan, we'll have the rest in the pot to eat. Or I could just throw it in a pan again and top it with some cheese and be done with it. That's another quick meal. Same thing, is just leftovers that couldn't fit in that pan that I had right now. And so, yeah, put everything in that pan, stuffed it in there as much as I could, patted it down as much as I could, and I still had some left. So look at that. Delicioso. Put some cheese on top. Put some foil on the top of it. Throw that baby in there for, I don't even know how much I put it in there, honestly. I think 10 minutes. But you'll see. I put it on 350. Put it in there for about 10 minutes because everything was cooked real good. And remember, with your seafood, you don't want to overcook it. So I put it in there for like 10 minutes. When I got done, which I don't think I got it on video, I put it back in on broil and just kept checking it for every 1 to 2 minutes to see how I wanted my top of my cheese. Some people like it crispy. Some people like it soft. Some people like it a little brown. Some people don't. So do it to your liking and feed them kids.